That's Jefferson. Climbs the ladder. Oh, my goodness. Come on.
What's going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing to you. We got the Showdown show, round 4. I'm here with my guy, Kurt. Kurt, I mean, you've been absolutely crushing, you, Rubio, the whole crew crushing Summer League. How's it going, man? My man?
It's going good. It's a grind. This is like the only window I have. So
I know.
This is perfect.
We got to get in and out, right?
Yeah, we got Clock Guy back, giving us the free lineups. Just huge edge for the members over at Run Pure. Like, edge that no one's getting. We're getting screenshots of the sheet of starters, bro. Like, it's been a grind. And as far as golf goes, it's no secret. Like, I'm not be able to follow this tournament as close as I always have. I've been grinding. This is the first time I've not, like, jerked to an event since probably the first fall event, since our 2-week break in the late summer. So it's a different feel for me. But I will say this. I've done 2 main teams the last 2 days for Showdown, and I've cashed very easily with both. So the boy's still locked in. Don't get it twisted. The boy is still locked in, ready to pick winners for the crew. Let's get it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it tough, too. They're going out in threes tomorrow. Obviously, I'll talk about why. But, like, for me, they're starting at, like, 12:45 a.m. my time, Central Time. The best time zone for you all out there that think Eastern's better.
No.
I think Central's the best. It is what it is. But I think we all agree, like, West Coast is just absolute worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's terrible. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah. No.
So, yeah, real quick, they're going off in threes tomorrow. I think this is really important. I'm kind of sad because the winds are just going to pick up throughout the day, like looking at this. So this is windy.com. It's a site that I use. They have many different readings that you can go to. And every single model that's out there just has the winds just absolutely destroying these guys. And it just continues to pick up. So your leaders, even though they're going out in 3, the leaders are still going to get absolutely hammered. I think it makes Showdown really interesting. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because, I mean, the first guy's going out. So looking at tee times right now, let me switch it back. All right, so Nikolai Hogard, Gary Woodland. That's a twosome going out at 6:45 local time. So just looking at the win readings right here. So, yeah, right there. Maybe they get 9 holes in somewhat less wind relative to the Rorys and Tommy Fleetwood, et cetera. Do you have any just general thoughts on the wind tomorrow?
I don't think the window is big enough. So the first thing that I did is honestly pull up Fantasy National and just go find the guys who do well in the stat that Fantasy National provides, which is windy as fuck conditions. That's the first thing I did. And,
I like that. Shout out to Fantasy National.
Yeah. No free shout outs. No free shout outs. Anyway.
I mean, it's fine. We don't do that. But, we take all of that and we give you the picks. That's what we do.
Exactly. So shout out to them. The first thing I kind of knew from memory a little bit, like obviously Shane Lowry's first by a decent margin. Can't lay Thomas Scheffler. A couple guys have missed the cut, but Shane Lowry, and he's up there again. I mean, normally I wouldn't play Shane in this scenario, but like, am I tripping? Yeah, so normally I wouldn't play Shane up here because I think he's just like crumbles every time, but you kind of factor that in. Huh?
I said no. I love him. Like,
yeah, I mean, you factor that in. So I will be playing Shane up top. As far as the other top 5 goes, I mean, like, it's a pretty sexy leaderboard. My fades will probably be Tom Kim and.
Well, no, let's dive right into it. Let's go leaderboard style, like we have it up right here. This is datagolf.com if you want to follow along with us. But yeah, talk about T5 and up. So Benny On, our boy. 10 under, all the way up to Rory. Tom Kim's been a hero for me, but talk about this whole range. What are you doing? And then I'll give my thoughts.
There's no coincidence. Like, all these top 5 are the guys that do well in the windy conditions. It's probably the link style golf, so it's clear. But the one thing that does stick out is like Tom Kim and Brian Harmon stick out like sore thumbs. So those are probably my hardest fades. I really like, if I had to rank it, I'm really going to prioritize Lowry and Fleetwood. And it's just stuff that I never thought I'd say. In between Rory and Scotty, I'm going Rory. Scotty will be a fade for me as well.
So, like, my take on this is, all right, so one person really stands out, Scotty Scheffler. He's 10-8. So, Rory, I just think Rory's going to win next week. I also think Scotty can win next week. But Rory is just always giving it up on Sundays. He has such a high ball flight that's going to factor into the win. We haven't seen heavy wins yet. So, no duh, he's in first right now. This is going to be completely different conditions. And when you just think about how Rory hits the ball, he hits it so high, it's going to get absolutely hammered by the wind. I love Tommy Fleetwood here, windy conditions, but Tommy went 7 under today. It's so hard to back up a nut round. But in Tommy's defense, I think, what do you think would suffice? Like 1 under, even? Like if he shoots that in those conditions, I'd probably take it.
Round.
What? I mean, it would be a really good round, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go back to last year where so just thinking back to last year's Scottish Open, the wave advantage, I think that it was the Xander wave had a 2-stroke advantage because the other wave just got absolutely annihilated by wind. We haven't seen that yet with this golf course. And I haven't even seen it because like they went out in 3s today, Kurt. I was still in the sheets. Like I got up, I usually get up really early, but you know, we had fun last night. I got up at like 8:30. Kurt, like, you know me, you're kind of like me. That's the latest I've slept in for like such a long time. I mean, it's insane, absolutely insane. So for me up top, I really like, I'm going to fade Rory just naturally. I think he's a good fade in favor of Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler is 200 cheaper. I could definitely see Scotty just, ball striking machine, very control over his game. He's absolutely the stud I want. Shane Lowry, a very good open, link style player, very good in the wind. Absolutely love him. JT Poston, no, I don't think I can go there. Eric Cole seems like he could be a grinder type, but again, it's back to that. He went 6 under today, phenomenal round. I think I'd be a little nervous. So, like for me up top, I have so much exposure to Tom Kim on the main slate. I'm a little worried there. I love Tommy Fleetwood. I love Scheffler. And I love Lowry. And then we might have to find some value later on. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I was just not thinking that too about just where I'm going to go for value because this is the first time I pulled it up. So it's a very raw take of mine. But that's okay. I don't want Cole. I don't want Poston. I really kind of want the value to not be too far down, but not really from up here. And there's no way I'm playing Benny on with his. I don't trust his off the tee at all in windy conditions, or him for that matter. So,
I mean, the one underrated, thing that we don't think about is the wind really factors into putting too. So you want someone that's going to come in with a confident putter as well.
That leads me to my next guy for value. Harry Hall.
Who's that?
Harry Hall. Harry Hall can putt.
So I mean so that's in our next section here. Let's go through the. Let me make sure. Let's go through T10. Here's the thing too. So naturally, if you're not familiar with round 4 showdown from a DraftKings perspective, you get placement points. So naturally, these guys up top, they are higher owned, and there's a value, especially in conditions like this one, to just auto fading a few of those guys and getting leverage elsewhere. And that's really what I want to do tomorrow. And as we continue to go down the leaderboard, we're just going to find a better advantage there. So let's talk about this range. Let's go T10 all the way to T18. Pretty big range here. What are you doing with these guys?
First of all, I'm going to be really heavy on Harry Hall. Just the salary, I'm not really sure if I'll be able to get like Homa, Hatton, maybe a little bit of a bounce back round. Maybe link style course. I don't mind that play. He is really expensive, and he's down here where a lot of people will be playing the Rorys, the Scotties of the world. So I like Hatton. Hot take: Hatton over Scotty tomorrow. Better score, DK.
I like. I think so. I mean, you're saying over Scotty? How about let's say over Rory?
Oh, I think that's because
we can't go against Scotty. Scotty's just been an absolute machine. But who's going to be more higher owned between the two? Like I think Rory is because he's in first. Everyone loves to play the leader.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's do. Okay, so I'll say that Hatton over Rory, and frankly, it's not close to me. Harry Hall here. Don't trust Tom Hoge at all, and then I'll go Robbie Mack for the old win narrative. He is also very high up there.
But yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at the flag. I mean, that flag right there tells us that he's a good win player, right? We got to avoid the American flags. I mean, Xander, just a guy that's super steady Eddie, very good with his game. I mean, I don't mind that. The other thing too is keep in mind, when they go out in threes, obviously you want to have an idea of when these guys are going out because all the leaders obviously it's so 8:57 a.m. you get the leaders Tommy Fleetwood, Tom Kim, and Rory. Then you get Eckroat, Guido, and Sammy. So you get some guys that are absolutely dust down there at the bottom. And what I'm getting at is you want to be really careful because I'm fine with playing some dusty guys as long as they're going out early. We saw a maybe very slight advantage for guys going out early. And again, it's a coastal course, very unpredictable too, but every single wind model is projecting a lot of wind and wind that just will continue throughout the day. So maybe a slight advantage, but still, we're not playing Eckroat, Guido, or Sammy. I've never heard of this guy. We're not playing those guys that are starting on the 10 tee. The same with the leaders in Fleetwood, Tom Kim, and Rory. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. For me in this range, I really like the Bobby Mack call. The other thing too is I like Homa, man. Homa looks to be very in control of his game right now. He tends to go through stretches, and I like what I'm seeing from a ball striking standpoint with Homa. So Homa, again, going to be, I'm just looking at his price, $9,100. I think that's a fine price tag. A guy that can really grind it out, tee to green, especially if we could get a 1-under type of round from him tomorrow, I think that would be a win. And he would probably climb a little bit too, adding to the placement points. Depending on what these guys are going to be able to do from a scoring standpoint. I just can't see all right, so Kurt, do you have any idea what you think a good score would be here? Like the round of the day? Yeah. Like, do you think anyone I think a lot of guys. I was thinking 300 too.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of them, maybe like 8 guys do it, maybe something like that, like 7 to 8 do it. But then let me say like 6 to 7 guys.
Like unless they're trying to hand it to Rory, like if they just set it up to make the pins as easy as possible.
And you know what? It could be from that early range where it's like 6 guys have they had like you said, a front 9 or something like that, where they had pretty 15 miles to 20 or something, and those guys all get the 3-under. That's not crazy to ask. See that happening.
Yeah. So for me up here, I really like what I'm seeing from Bobby Mack. The putter looks good. Been solid around the green. Harry Hall too. I'm with you on that. Under on Hoagie. I like Homa. David Lingberth is a very surprising name. He should be dirt cheap. He's 6,200. I don't mind the play if you're paying up for the studs, if you're trying to get the Scotties in there, if you're trying to get the guys that are going to grind out a good finish. Scotty's been a lock for like T5 all year long. Dude, he could easily win this tomorrow. So, I love the idea of playing like a Lingmerth type, absolutely just full punting to get up to the Scotty Schefflers and maybe one other stud that isn't Rory. I really like that path tomorrow. I mean, you could go Hatton, Scheffler, and a guy like Lingmerth, almost, 6,200. So he's almost absolutely min-priced. I would play him over these other Swedes that are down here. Soderberg, Sebastian.
Give me Soderberg over Lingmerth.
You like Soderberg?
Over Lingmerth.
Okay. I mean, I would take that. We'll figure something out.
A little lunch bet.
I'm not familiar. I'm not really familiar with Soderberg's game.
I was just sorting through some of the stuff on.
And I'd make fun of you if you were. I mean,
if I was to pull up Rick Rungood, I'm just assuming that he would be better off the tee than Lingmerth. Is why.
Yeah, I mean, Lingmerth, you get the experience. You got to like how he's playing. He like a guy like that, he's just trying to post good finishes. I mean, he knows he's not going to win. If he can get to like 9 under, I mean, or just stay at 8 under, huge win, I think, tomorrow. And then obviously Haddon, I love that call. Haddon's been playing incredible and 1 over today. He could be a guy that goes out there in poor conditions tomorrow.
He can get the 3 under.
Yeah, and post something like where you're like, what? Like, how did he do that? Haddon does that all the time, and he's been playing really good. Ryan Fox, too. I think Ryan Fox is going to be a fine play as well. This dude just continues to be a beast. I should have gotten more exposure to him on the main slate, but 7,900. I actually played, so I would have had a 6 of 6 that would have been sitting really nice. I played Doug Gim over Ryan Fox, Kurt. I mean, if I would have had Fox in there over Gim, I would have been sitting really nice. So I think our consensus from this range, Bobby Mack, he's a flat 8K on DraftKings. Spend up wise, Hatton over Rory. I think that's a great leverage play. Do you have any thoughts on Hovland too? Hovland's 9,500, really good ball striker. Struggles a little bit around the greens. Do you have any thoughts on Hovland as a mid-tier up, 9,500, kind of a higher price spend up?
In my head, I feel like he plays bad in the wind, and I think I'd just rather spend my money elsewhere. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, very good. And then what about Ricky too? So Ricky Fowler,
I know it's 800 more, but I'd be more opposed to play Ricky than Hovland, but I don't love it either.
Yeah, so Ricky, here's a really interesting play, I think. Ricky is 10-3 when you just think about the others in that range. So Scheffler, 10-8, Hatton, 10K. You got Xander cheaper than Ricky. I don't see how Ricky gets any ownership. And Ricky, here's the thing about Ricky. Ricky is playing out of his mind right now, and he's always historically been an incredible win player. I love the idea of playing Ricky Fowler tomorrow in Showdown, a guy that has complete control over his game right now, historically good in the wind. He can dial it in, putting, and he's going to go out tomorrow and just, if he can get a top 10, just another top 10 that he's booking, and he goes into the Open Championship with all the confidence in the world. I mean, Ricky might be one of my favorite plays tomorrow. What do you think about that?
I like that. I like it a lot, actually. I was questioning if I had the balls to do it. But I really think him and Hatton could be the high-priced guys that post the 3 unders. And the other guys go like even and 1 under. So it's really a matter of the position points thing. But I think I would rather have the 2 guys who I really think do shoot that 3 under, which would be those 2.
Yeah, I like that. Let's keep it going. Let's go down to
I would like a rule of like one of those guys. Because like you do want to like lock up that position point. So maybe just my lineup rule would be kind of like one of Ricky or Hatton and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a really good point you make. The thing about the position points, I don't see it being like a true birdie fest or anything like that tomorrow. I think par is going to be a score that people will take and run with. So those position the position points, are going to come into play for sure. But if you get a Rory, shooting 3 or 4 over, or these guys that are starting up top, they're just going to fall. And the points that they get for their final position are going to go down also. So that is definitely something to consider. But I do think ownership has to just be jammed up top, because everyone's going to, be factoring in, the top guys are going to be the ones that rack up all those points. So if anything, I think you get more leverage this week than versus a normal week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I haven't ran, so I'll probably run some builds too, maybe behind the scenes before we get off. But I have my suspicion that that's going to be the case as well, as far as ownership goes. And we've seen some crazy ownership up top for some of these guys. But let's go to this next range, Kurt. Again, this becomes the dicey range. So Gary Woodland, for example, he goes off first thing in the morning. He is out there. Let me pull up my not that one tab that we had open. That would be so funny. So Gary Woodland. So yeah, he goes out 6:45 a.m. local time with Nikolai Hogard. But down here in this range too, just going down the leaderboard, you should get like, where's Eckroat? Eckroat's got to be down here a little bit further, I believe. So yeah, just be weary of when you're getting down here in this range. Some of these guys are going to go out really early, and then as you go down further, make sure you're aware of what their tee time is. But talk to me about this range here with Thomas Dietrich, a guy that we were pretty high on for main slate, all the way down to the T39s.
I always like Dietrich. I think he's a good showdown play too. I just think he has decent upside. Could be a guy that maybe creeps up, gives you some position points in the top 15, something like that. So I like him in this range. And the next is going to be Gary Woodland, that low ball flight, baby. Yeah. Come on.
Yep. I was
Give me some of that low
thing.
ball flight. And then right below him, I like Højgaard too for a little bounce back round.
Here's another thing that I love to do is you get this group. They're one group that's going out with a twosome. They're going to play faster than the other groups, and you would think, and have a little bit more freedom. They will play off of each other. I really like this too, and I think that you could play them together in showdown formats. Let me pull up their pricing.
So, I mean, I come on here. I feel like every weekend I talk about if you're running 20 max stuff like that. Group sacking, and I don't know when. Every weekend it feels like I'll have that because I 20 max. I would do it like 10 of my lineups. I would make sure one of them included group stack, and it seems like every week I'd have one of those group stacks would give me a true sweat, and I fucked up some one of the last 3 other spots. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep preaching group stacking, and it's just something else to kind of make because always you'll have one guy. 2 of the guys might be a little popular, but when you're forcing those stacks or even the twosomes, you'll have one guy be a lot lower owned, and it'll force you on a leverage play that could just nuke when they start drafting off each other.
I'm going to share. Did I get you nervous there? So I'm going to share this real quick. So I think this range, and I can switch back and forth, but we're talking about Højgaard and Woodland, and I love this because in Sabre right here, we can see their start time. So we know these guys are starting really early, maybe a slight advantage that we talked about. I think this is kind of the money range right here. Like I want the Wyndham Clark. I think Wyndham Clark's going to be a great play. I think Hodges is fine as well, starting there early. Gary Woodland, Højgaard, Dietrich. I really like this range. Even like a Luke List, a bomber, he could get it done. They're all starting early. Maybe we get a little bit more favorable wind with that as well. Let me go over real quick. And again, I'm not sure how late I'm going to stay up tonight. The other nice thing, Kurt, about rostering these guys, I'll be in the sheets. Yeah. And then
can't tilt them.
6, 7 in the morning coming around, I check my phone. I know how they did. I don't have to tilt them in Discord. I'll know where I stand bright and early. But if we just go back over here, we can see I care about that. So I'm looking down here. So these guys, again, start right here. Maybe it's a little bit more favorable before the real nasty stuff hits. And maybe that little advantage is just enough to sneak in a few more birdies to justify playing some of these guys. But let me go back to this tab. So yeah, one thing too, just to give Sabre a shout out, they do factor in projected placement points into their projections as well. So I think we're going to do a couple of things because we do got to cut this show a little bit short. We're going to do 2 things after we get through the next range, which won't take that long. We're going to build our own core that we like for tomorrow. And I think we crushed the last time. So it wasn't last week, but it was the week before when we did this. And I'm going to also run kind of an optimal to show the people where Sabre is landing for round 4 showdown. So let's go to this next range real quick. Let me just bring this back up. Let's talk about these last scrubs. I'm going to have a lot of fades down here in this range, but talk about everyone else left. Is there anyone else that you are really high on tomorrow?
Well, my DraftKings messed up. 1 second. Let me sort this.
What about Man Bun? A little Marcel.
So I don't know if we're talking about this range, but I like Jordan Smith. Good. I think he's one of the talker guys. Good round 4 score when he does play in these events. So give me some Jordan Smith. Minwoo Lee, maybe it's like he's not in terrible form. He's down here. He's won this event. He's used to his Link style. It's no one wants to pay that price for someone, but he could. I mean, he could post the top 25 score. If everyone goes backwards and he posts that 300 number that we're talking about, he could be the guy that gets top 25 position points. A couple more scrubs. I like Victor Perez down here. Corey Connors is a deep GPP if you're running 20 max, and I'm always
the thing that tilts me so much and why I was mad they went out in threes is because Corey Connors should have gotten a favorable tee time. Like he should have gone out first. And now he gets screwed because he goes out at 8:35. And so like my plan is like your JT Poston, your Harmons, your Connors, look at their tee times. I'm going to under project them. I'm just going to play the wind, man. I'm going to hope that we get a little bit more favorable conditions in the morning. Every model just shows the winds just really start to tick up. Maybe they're off a little bit, and maybe it's actually like the winds aren't as bad in the morning, and then it just completely, gets up there. And maybe we get a little bit of advantage, just wave stacking like we talked about. That's something I'm going to be doing. So a lot of these guys, and you got to go in there and you got to look, like the Eckroat, Guido, Sammy, we talked about that, EVR, Herbert, Harmon, Cole, like Andrew Putnam, Matthew Jordan, Billy Horschel. Again, not favorable tee times. They're way down there, dumpster diving, so they're not going to get the placement points either. So it's almost like a negative hit, but I still feel like part of the field is not going to factor that in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I already know my core. I'm already looking at it. It looks really nice. Oh, I'm already thinking about it. Sorry.
Can you give us a hint?
It's early.
It's
a little early, but a little bit of late.
Let me share this other screen now. I ran this using SaberSim's projections. They factor in placement points. And again, here's what we see. We're not surprised. Rory, Tommy, Eric Cole, Hoagie, Poston, Harmon. What do all these guys have in common, Kurt? They're all at the top of the leaderboard, right?
I'm sorry. I was making the core over there. What did you say? Who they all have in common?
Oh, those guys. They're all at the top of the leaderboard. So they're all that is how people build, and if we look at the ownership here, and I just ran cash settings, so it's pulling these in. Again, you can see exposure wise. I mean, Tom Kim up there, Rory, Shane Lowry, Harmon, Harry Hall, a guy we liked, Poston. That was a fade of ours. But your Schefflers are barely getting into there. You know who we're not going to see? We're not going to see any Ricky Fowler. We're not going to see some of those play. We're not going to see Hatton at all. Like if I type in Hatton, no, he didn't get in anything. If we type in, and Ricky's definitely not. Ricky. Now I do this each and every week, and I'm telling you, ownership always follows this. Like it really does. And so if you want a good idea of what ownership's going to do, go run the Cash Optimal over at SaberSim. They factor in placement points, and you're going to have a good idea of what ownership looks like. And these are going to be the guys that get a lot of it. I think Rory gets a lot. I do think Scheffler is going to get more than what we're getting here. Obviously, we only ran, 40 builds, so not a lot. But even if I ran like 150, I still don't think I would get any Ricky Fowler at all. So that's going to be a really interesting showdown play for me tomorrow. But let's do this. Let's finish this off because I know we got MMA coming up starting. We got more Summer League going as well. Let me do this. Let's build a core for the people. Let me just delete all these golfers. Let's build a core. We'll do it right here in SaberSim, and then we'll get out of here. Let's each pick 2 golfers. We can't pick Rory. Who's the other guy that we want to ban as well? I think we can't pick Rory or Tom Kim or Brian Harmon, Eric Cole, Poston. Those are all guys that are T5 or better that are going to get some
there's
ownership.
No point in really picking Scotty either. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's not pick Scotty.
Let's just say we like him. Well, you like him. I'll be lower on him. But it's just too obvious. So we'll just take him out there. Let's give the people kind of a mid-tier start, and they can pick their studs. Hashtag pick your studs.
I like it. Get us started here, Kurt.
All right. I'm going with the. You get 2 for $1. Damn it, we're going the freaking the Hardy boys, not really the Hardy boys, but the two guys going up top, 29th, early as they can. Hoy Garden Woodland, baby. 2 for $1.
All right.
Take that to the bank.
So I really like that. I didn't know you were going 2 all the way at once.
2
All right, so I like that. We got Woodland. So all right, I love this idea, especially in Showdown. We're tee time stacking or wave stacking, whatever you want to call it. The good mojo will flow through. If they start playing good, you get the low ball flight of Gary Woodland, really solid off the tee, projected to be really low owned too over here.
And the Højgaard bounce back round too.
Højgaard, yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. Let me see. So you kind of threw me off. We need one stud or semi stud. I think what we want to do.
We like the Fowler / Hatton thing, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. What time does Justin Thomas tee off?
He might have got the shaft.
I'm pulling it up right now. So, because I do want to like lean towards these. Okay, I got one guy because we need another value. He was a soldier this week, Mr.
Oh, I love that. I like that.
Alexander Bjork is so again. Mid-tier, which I really like because we're getting a lot of leverage. These guys are going to go way overlooked. They just are. It always happens. And then we got 88 left per. Who do we want? I don't mind eating a little bit of chalk, but I think tomorrow is a day where we just get way different. And I don't like placement points. Yeah, are going to be important, but I want guys that are going to avoid the big bogeys because like what people aren't. Like, or the big scores. What people aren't factoring in is like, you get a double bogey. That's a huge negative as far as showdown scoring goes. So even if you get a guy that grinds out a bunch of pars and maybe a birdie or two, it's massive. What about Wyndham Clark? He starts at 7 a.m., so very favorable start time. And price-wise, $9,300. What do you think about that?
I got
look at this.
Hey,
I don't like this ownership. I don't know if it's that accurate, but they got to be leverage plays. These weren't any of the plays that were popping up on the cash optimal that we ran. They're going way overlooked. They all have very early start times. Wyndham Clark, Bjork, Gary, Woodland, Nikolai Højgaard. Who else were you saying?
I like one. I'm talking about eating chalk a little bit. I think Harry Hall can go 1 under and kind of get it done for us tomorrow. He's, I think, top 30 in bogeys avoided in windy conditions. I think he has a very good job at avoiding the doubles too.
Oh, there you go. Then pick your stud, right?
What's funny is that leaves you. That leaves you with
pick your stud, right?
I like it. Yeah.
Hatton. You got Ricky. Enough for Ricky, right?
Yep.
Was it 10-3 left? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
See, I really like this format for tomorrow. What are we rooting for? We want carnage in the afternoon. We want 35, 40-mile-an-hour winds. I don't care how easy the course is. With those type of winds, it's gonna be playing so tough. And now again, weather forecast can be wrong. It's a coastal course. We could be wrong. We want carnage tomorrow. We want all the wins in the world. I'm gonna be so tilted if these guys get bailed out. I'll be very, very tilted. So I don't think that's going to happen, though. Every projection model that I'm looking at forecasts wind that continues to climb throughout the day. I love the early guys, and I'm mixing in those guys where I think they could rise up. I think the Rickies, the Hattons, and they could benefit from more placement points. That's going to be my strategy tomorrow. You got any final thoughts for us, Kurt?
No. I think it's going to be awesome to wake up and then watch like the grind of the finish kind of. Well, I mean, let's be honest. I'm waking up at 5 a.m. But, to get the morning. I probably will too. But get the morning started. We'll be able to watch. Like, it's just so cool. And I can't wait to do it again next week as well. It's always a pleasure coming on with you. So that was fun. Great Saturday night.
And this term might be like really bad. People can make fun of it, but I do think it's a week where we get like almost double leverage because everyone's going to be factoring the placement points. And they're going to be like, oh, scoring's going to be hard for everyone. We have to play the guys up top. I think it's going to be emphasized even more tomorrow. I'm going hard the other way. I'm with you. Højgaard, Woodland, Bjork, Clark. Sign me up. Give me all of them. Mix in Ricky. Mix in. even if you play
Lowry,
Rory,
I think we're okay with Lowry too.
Yeah, if you play Rory tomorrow, play in a build like this. Play in a build with these guys where you're getting pure leverage off of it. That's how I would do it. Don't play it with all the other chalk donkeys. There's no way that all those guys up top end up finishing up top. I'm gonna plant my flag right there. There's absolutely no way that they're all in the optimal lineup.
Boom. Easy does it.
All right, man. How long? All right, real quick, give a commercial for Summer League, then we'll get out of here.
All right, like I said, we got Clock Guy is back. We've had starters from social media accounts, but everyone's left Vegas now. The beat writers are gone. Everyone's gone. All we have is Clock Guy, aka insider information for Run Pure Sports. We've been crushing and seeing green every day. If you don't know much about it, just simply commit to checking every 5 minutes before lock. I know it sounds like a lot. There's 4 games, and it's just an easy printer. You make sure you don't have a guy that's not playing, and you easily cash. It's been an absolute print fest. I can't wait to see more screenshots tonight from the fam. Come sign up. Come join. Just be in the Discord and win some money. And we're going to finish. We got tonight, tomorrow, and then Monday's is a showdown, and we'll be done. Can't wait to do it again. But, hey, NBA preseason's coming up, and so is NFL preseason. It's basically the same thing.
Isn't that wild? Absolutely wild. I
love doing the NFL preseason playbooks last year was like, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to make some money one way or another. It's always fun.
We'll be absolutely dialed. All right. For Kurt, I'm AP. Run Pure.